I feel good. Look, the Ghosts cast gets along really well. We support each other, and the energy that we have when we're together is really infectious. It's hard not to have a great time with those people. So, as long as I'm with that family, like I feel pretty good. And the response from everybody who came was also really uplifting. And we rarely get to spend time in Los Angeles in our community. And so to do so feels like a weirdly like a privilege. So I'm glad that we got to hang out and meet some of the Paramount family and a CBS family. And we're still here, which is great news.
As you know, I've been watching this since season one, and
Yes.
I've been a big supporter and a big fan of it since season one. And I'm just so curious, for you personally as an actor, what is it like being on a show that I mean, I'm just going to be honest, given the current landscape that we're in, the current marketplace, that you're in the middle of a season and you're like, you get renewed, you get renewed, and then this time you get renewed twice, for two more seasons. Does that really kind of validate you as an actor to know that you're part of something that's really connecting with audiences?
No, I don't really get my validation as an actor from success anymore.
Yeah.
Having experienced so much failure, I sort of trained that out of me. I'm validated by as a father and as a family member who is providing for my family. I feel really safe and lucky and grateful that I could, my kids are going to be good and my wife will be taken care of for the next 2 years. We are building um, a strong foundation financially for our kids. And, that has it rings of an American dream of yesteryear, which is something that I always aspired to. So I feel proud of that as a worker among workers. As an actor, I never really wanted to act. I just wanted to make people happy. So the thing that makes me feel joy is like the interactions that I have with fans at the grocery store or at the comic book shop or at my kids' school where um, people really seem to gravitate towards ghosts, entire families. And the fact that we get to keep bringing joy into those people's homes, that's validating for sure.
There's always a lot of focus on kind of like the streaming and like cable shows and whatnot, like HBO stuff. But there really is nothing more comforting than a network comedy. And I think your show is like that. Abbott Elementary, there's another show on ABC that just came out this year called Shifting Gears with Tim Allen and Kat Dennings. I just think that these are like they remind us of our childhood where we sit down and there's like a family like values to them and you just kind of love and you feel great when you watch them. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing when you interact with fans. They're people like remember what that was like to grow up. You probably watch Family Matters and Full House and stuff like that and The Cosby Show, like stuff like that. That's what these shows remind me of.
That's really good to hear. And I also think even for like an Abbott Elementary, I haven't seen Shifting Gears, but Ghosts is one of the few things. Again, I don't know if Abbott ticks this box. I love Abbott Elementary,
Yeah.
but Ghosts is one of the few things that an entire family can watch together, and it's appropriate and funny for every family member. So,
Yes.
like, it's one of the few things that, like, covers all the bases, and it doesn't lack for edginess or, some inappropriate jokes or innuendo or, it tackles some heavy issues while still being funny, but it's something you can sit down with 3, 4 generations at one time, and everyone's good.
When you go into each new season, are the episodes already written or are they written as they go along?
Come on, dog. These are writers, man. They wait till the last minute. They're like the rest of us. They're just like the rest of us. These
I
guys
don't
don't
know. Some of these people I've talked to said, like, oh, we've had these in the can for like months and we were just waiting to
plan.
film them.
No, man, our writers shoot from the hip, baby. 22 episodes of TV is hard. I think they plan as much as they can, and then we fill in the blanks around that. And you never know what's going to happen. Actors get sick, storylines have to change, people become unavailable. the world, often the news of the world, the politics of the world dictate what we want to say and don't say. So I think our writers are like us. They are doing their very best with the resources they have to deliver things on time, which they do, but planned out ahead loosely.
Okay,
Loosely.
what would you say the average lead time is?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to out my writers. I love my writers. What are you
You don't
trying to
have to. No, I think it's really
dig up
interesting
dirt?
that they change and adapt. It's great.
We get our scripts 4 years in advance, bro. We had scripts for season 5 in 2015, man. They sent it to me. They said, someday you're going to do this show, and I want you to memorize season 5 for when it happens. So I've been prepared for a long time. And I just want to thank my writers for being so ahead of the curve.
So obviously, I already know this answer to this question now, but was really funny. I was going to say, do you share a common interest with Jay? But I can tell just by how you reacted to my backdrop that you do.
Yeah. Look, I got a room full of toys. They asked me what toys I want. Thorfinn's room is full of toys that I asked them to buy. They're all stuck to the wall, so I cannot steal them. I physically cannot take them out of the room, no matter how much I try or how many times they've caught me trying. Uh, Jay and I are very similar in that regard. And then we're completely different in that, I'm a hip hop head and came up rapping in clubs. And I imagine Jay is somebody who's singing Adele at karaoke or something like that. You know, he's learning a couple of Bob Marley songs to play at a party. Jay's the guy who picks up the guitar who can't play at the party. He's a
Totally.
sweet, sweet man, but his skill lies in the kitchen and almost nowhere else.
How difficult it is for you to film the scenes with the entire cast involved because you literally have to pretend like no one's around.
Yeah, look, everyone wants me to say it's hard.
But it's not, huh?
It's the job. It's very much my pride is in not breaking. And the very, very, I will say the difficult thing, and this is where the the technical aspect of film and television comes in, is Jay doesn't speak at all, right? For most of these scenes, he has 2 or 3 lines, but he's present. He's constantly trying to be a part of. So how do I fill that space? I fill it physically, right? So whether it's being in my phone or cooking or chopping something, or you'll see I'm constantly doing physical busy work. Now, if I or some of my fellow actors need to restart, I have to restart that whole physical cycle. So for something called continuity, because for every shot, everything has to be exactly at the same time. So the technical challenge of being like, okay, Rose has a line here, that's when I lift my phone. Then Devin speaks, even though I'm ignoring him. Devin speaks and I put my hand over here. I'm going to get bored when Hetty starts talking and check out so that I can reconnect for so and so's line. So I have to choreograph physically what I'm doing. And in that regard, it's a really fun challenge because I'm essentially doing like a silent movie of my own. Um, but ignoring them talk, maybe that's why it's quote unquote easier to ignore them talking, because I'm constantly full trying to create action for Jay so that I don't just sit there like a lump of coal while everybody else dances around me?
One of my favorite episodes this season was where you were working with Trevor in episode 4, I believe it was, where you were kind of like the business, you were doing the business, working
Right.
with that.
The Michael Jackson.
Yes. And it's what's crazy about this is that you also had like a hand in what happened with Isaac Book, and it's so smartly written that you're able to kind of like not see what's going on, but at the same time kind of be part of it. And I think it's just
Yeah.
that's credits to the Joes for being able to do
Course.
that.
That's Joe Port, Joe Wiseman. That's our writers. They set Jay up to succeed. They had him on board from day one. I love you unconditionally. What you believe, I believe. Let's freaking go, dude. And so all of the muck that could have slowed the character down of not believing or being suspicious or gone. Instead, you have somebody who's just yes and I think that's what makes Jay so fun when he does get it. He
Yeah.
interacts with the ghosts often, and when he does get to interact with Sam, like, yeah, he's 100% on the team and he's ready to play. He's often it's like it's like a if it was a baseball team, Jay's the guy in right field facing the wrong way, like, but still ready to go. That's Jay. Jay's just like, come on now, we can do this. And everyone's like, turn around, bro. Over here.
Are you going to direct or write maybe an episode? Do you want to take a stab at that?
Well, look, I'm a dues paying member of the WGA. I think we have great writers on the show, and I would never encroach upon that aspect of the creative process on this show. I don't think I need to. Although they let me improv now and then, and sometimes those things make it in, which makes me very happy. As for directing, Rose was, for my money, I think she was maybe the best director we had last season. She was so tuned into the show for obvious reasons. And also because we love her dearly, we wanted her to succeed, right? So you're a little bit more focused on working, doing your best. And yeah, I would love to direct. The short answer is yes. I'd like a chance to yeah, to put my stamp on the show as well.
Who knows the show better than you guys? So I feel like it's sort of a great
We
lead
haven't
into kind
we
of
have
doing it.
nobody knows the show better than our crew,
Right.
than our DP and our gaffers, the entire crew is there to support. And so our first ADs, they are such incredible resources of knowledge that we it would be foolish for us not to take a swing at something so difficult as directing. It's really hard to do. So being able to do it in a safe environment where you're fully supported by your cast and crew is rare and should be acted upon if available, I think.
I totally agree. So I wanted to jump a little bit into your story arcs this season. Obviously,
Yeah, bro, let's get into it,
get
man.
into it. Let's get into it. The restaurant. That whole story arc I feel like has been ongoing. In kind of the dream of Jay. What was it like to finally see that fully realized in this season?
Incredible for the character. It gives me a place to be. It allows Jay some agency. It puts me in that fly ass chef's uniform, which is very cool. We get guest stars in the form of Jay's kitchen staff, Dustin Ybarra, and a bunch of others. I shout outs to our production department for creating such an incredible restaurant out of that barn. Uh yeah, it just opens up so many stories for Jay, and I just was so happy to sit there and watch it, be a part of it. Very cool.
The production design on this show, and I think you were one of the people who were shouting it out at the panel, I mean, really should not go unnoticed. It's so elaborate and detailed, and I mean, the attention to detail in general in most of these shots is pretty
Come to our set.
spectacular.
Come to Montreal. Like, you voters, publications, whoever's watching this, come see what these people are capable of. Come see what it is. It's not a school. It's not a restaurant. It's like 7, 8, 9, 10 different individual worlds that are being created from scratch. So come check it out. Yeah, anybody watching who's got one of those press passes or whatever, you come through. You see what we're capable of. It's these people are there's some craftsmen, some true artists working their asses off to make something look easy. Dude, yeah, so the restaurant is gorgeous, beautiful. It also allowed us to introduce Jay and Bela's parents, Sakina Joffrey and Bernard White. Uh, it's really cool. We got gangsters coming through. We had a stripper crash through the roof. It became a very important sort of hub, sort of like our Central Perk.
Yeah.
Yeah, to use Friends parlance. It was another place for us all to hang out, which was very cool.
The other episode that really like stood out, and I mean, it was the two-parter, was the Christmas episode. I mean, How important was that for you to kind of have your culture represented on this show in that way?
Yeah, it's a long time coming. I felt really, really great about Sakina coming to play my mom and having Bernard come in. These are people who paved the road for us South Asian actors in the 90s and on. I wouldn't be here without them, literally. So the fact that I can pay it forward and we can have them on the show is super validating. And then also like Rupinder Gill, who was our writer on that, and the Joes, they were really sensitive and supportive as to my experience. So there's like that monologue at the end where Jay's talking about the immigrant experience. And, some of the lines in that I had asked to shift slightly, and they're verbatim my own life. They came with nothing. They came with what, 500. My parents came with $500, maybe less than that, probably less, to Maryland, trying to make a life. And then here we are, dude. And they just want us to be safe and happy and healthy. And they have to watch their kid become an actor or try to become a chef and open a restaurant and face that fear of not knowing whether their child will be safe in this new country. Um, so that is reality. And to be able to share that and sort of tell, my dad through Jay how much he means to me was amazing. My dad is a hero. He is a absolute moral knight, truly. The guy is special. And so I was happy to sort of show him some love through Jay.
The incorporation of all these storylines, like I mean, like even Hetty, like last season had that incredible story arc.
Wow, yeah, deep.
So like that's what I'm talking about. Like, and you just mentioning that, like you were able to kind of insert some of your own self into it. You got to pay, pay tribute to your father. Like, these are the things that I think in the writing, if you know the actors, if you're paying attention to the show, like there's a lot of attention to detail, and then just between the comedy, there's some hard hitting emotional depth there.
You have to have it. This is wish fulfillment. These are humans, ghosts, who are trying to get better. And
Right.
the only we have to show, and humans too, we have to show ourselves grow. We have to show how the pain and joy exist in the same place. Now it's all funny, but the Joes and our writers really find a way to bring heart into the humor. And I think that's also what sets the show apart from a lot of others. Is it hits hard and does it in a way that I don't think, more often than not, it is genuine and not sort of saccharine.
As we move into the next two seasons, I learned from the panel that you guys get to actually pitch some ideas. Is there a particular story arc or a particular theme that you want to see explored for your character in the upcoming seasons?
Look, I love Sheila Carrasco as Flower. She is an accredited lawyer, or she went to law school. We have
In
learned,
between all the weed smoking.
yeah, yeah, oh, way more than that. We've learned that Elias Woodstone, played by the inimitable Matt Walsh, and Jay have entered into a contract where Jay's soul now belongs to hell. So I would very much love for Flower Montero to become Jay's attorney at law and defend his life. And I'd love for us to go down to hell or whatever it is, but I want Flower and Jay to have a closer relationship, a client working relationship, in coming seasons. I think it would be so awesome for Sheila, and I just love her. I want to work with her more. That would be great.
I can see this, and I actually kind of love that whole idea, and they can kind of do it as like almost like a throwback episode to almost like a Columbo like. I would love to
Oh
see
my
that.
God, I would love that. That'd be so fun. And then just for physical comedy, which I love doing, which I think this show does really well. Um, to give you guys a little bit of that Jim Carrey sort of Joey Tribbiani, I think Jay should be dodging near death experiences. Like he should be dodging death for the next season at least. Like, what's his name? Elias is trying to kill him, right? So the amount of dangerous situations that we can put Jay in, the more the better. Let's try and kill this dude. and see how many ways he can dodge death. I think that's it's like a funny Final Destination.
And I mean, the house would be so fun to actually do that in because there's
It's a death
like
trap, bro.
exactly that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's so many things in that house that can go wrong at the drop of a hat.
These are great ideas. I hope the Joes are watching and we need to make them happen.
They are
And
very
especially that lawyer episode. I think that needs to go. Or it can even be like a whole series arc. I think there's a theme there that can kind of come
oh,
throughout the entire season.
a flower as like a semi-lucid lawyer would be so funny.
So we always ask people this, and I know obviously we're rooting for ghosts, but is there another show? Because I know you mentioned again a lot of the more popular series. Is there another underappreciated show that you believe should have awards buzz besides Ghosts?
Interior Chinatown is gorgeous. It is like a Michel Gondry film on camera. Taika Waititi directed and executive produced. It's just so special. I'm loving Deli Boys on Hulu. I think Deli Boys, Asif Ali, who came and played with us on Ghosts, Purna Jagannathan, who I did Never Have I Ever with, and Sagar Sheikh, who's from Miss Marvel. They've created a world that is really, really fun. And I'm very jealous in many ways of it. Although, we're doing good too. Those are the two shows that I think people should really. Oh, and then most importantly, my homie, Diara Kilpatrick. You guys have to watch Diara from Detroit on BET Plus. I don't know how you're gonna get it. I know it's not the most like easy show to watch because it's streamers and blah blah blah. DR from Detroit is better than almost every single show out there. I think it's better than the studio, honestly. Like
Wow.
you don't have the star power of the pizzazz or the Hollywood cool kids or all that, fancy shit that you guys drool over, but like it is a better show. It is crafted at a much lower price point with as much, if not more, effectiveness. And I think you guys should give that show a shot. Diara from Detroit. It is awesome. And they just got picked up for a second season. So I'm very happy somebody sees it. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone wants to be exclusive and create platforms where you have to go to see a show. I think we're a little bit of streamer fatigue. We don't want to spend 7.99, 8.99, 12.99 on 40 different things. We're paying more than cable to watch all this stuff now. So it'll recalibrate and balance out again. But if you want quality, great shows, those are three places to go.